everyone, this is Kristen and welcome back to A Place for Parents. If this is your first time here, welcome. Don't forget to click like, subscribe, and the notification bell so you don't miss any future videos. Today's video is going to be 8 back-to-school tips for kindergarten parents, so let's get right into it. Tip number 1 is start bedtimes now. Over here in Michigan, we have about 2.5 weeks left until school starts, and there's nothing worse than that first day of school when your little one does not want to get out of bed, especially if they're not used to a solid routine of having to get up really early and be somewhere for an extended period of time, like 8 or 9 hours. So my recommendation is to start now with bedtime, bath time, get a story in, and put your little one down about 7:30, 8 o'clock at the absolute latest. Tip number 2, make sure that your child can identify his or her name in writing. Really quick story, when I was teaching kindergarten on the first day, I had a kid come in and I asked him to go find his name on the nameplate at his table. He walked around the room about 5 or 6 times and he could not find his name. After I asked him why he wasn't at his seat, he told me that he didn't know what his name looked like. So parents, before your little ones start kindergarten, please make sure they know what their name looks like. Tip number 3 goes along with tip number 2. Make sure your child can write his or her name. First and last name would be great, but if it's only first name, that's okay too. I'll leave a link in the description box below of a website that you can go to print out name practice sheets. In addition to writing their name, your child should be able to write English letters. Many students start kindergarten not knowing how to write any letters of the alphabet. That's something else you can practice these last couple of weeks of summer. Tip number 4 is a really big one. For many kindergarten students, this is going to be their first time out of the house and eating in a cafeteria. At the same time, your child's teacher is going to be having lunch as well, so they won't have time to help your child get to the lunch table or open up their lunch. So tip number 4 is make sure your child knows how to open his or her lunch. Whether it's a Ziploc bag or a Lunchable, make sure they know how to open it. Take some time over these next few weeks to practice, because most likely there will be lunch aides in the lunchroom, but they won't have enough time to go to each student and help them open up their lunch. And I would hate for your child to go the entire day and not be able to eat their lunch because they ran out of time because they didn't know how to open it. Tip number 5 is also a really big one for kindergartners. Make sure your child knows how to dress and undress him or herself when going to the restroom. This means knowing how to unbuckle and buckle a belt, button and unbutton a button, the zipper, and for young ladies, tights. Many little ones have accidents because they don't know how to get their clothes unbuckled, and this is something you can avoid easily by helping them and teaching them the right way to dress and undress themselves. If your child is struggling with working a belt, there are belts especially designed for kids who are in that learning phase, and I'll leave a link in the description box below. Tip number 6 is how to hold a pencil. You can work with your child on holding a pencil. Many students enter kindergarten holding their pencils like this, when the correct way is to hold it using these 3 fingers. I would highly recommend using the larger pencils or even pencil grips. And again, I'll leave a link in the description box below. The last 2 tips are going to be very hard for you to do, parents, but you can do this. Tip number 7, don't cry when it's time to leave your kid at kindergarten for the first time. Many kids get their emotional cues from their parents, so if they see you cry, they're going to think that something's wrong. Let them know that you love them and that you'll miss them and that they're going to have a great first day. You can even make it special by telling them, hey, after school we'll go get some ice cream or we'll go for a walk in the park and we'll talk about your first day. But if you can, I know it's going to be really hard, don't cry in front of the kids. Go in the car and cry if you can. The last tip, number 8, is don't stay too long. I know it's hard to leave your little one, many for the first time, especially for 8 or 9 hours. But your child has to get used to being without you in the classroom. This allows them to get acclimated to their classroom, their classmates, and the teacher. This really allows the teacher time to build that classroom culture so that your child feels safe and secure. I know you really want to stay those extra 5, 10, 20, 30 minutes, but don't. It's okay, your child will be safe and they will be so excited to see you at the end of the day. Just to recap our 8 tips. Number 1, start bedtimes now. Number 2, make sure your child can identify his or her name. Number 3, make sure your child can write his or her name. Number 4, teach your child how to open his or her lunch, whether it be a Lunchable or Ziploc. That's really important for a kindergartner. Tip number 5, practice with your child getting dressed and undressed when it's time to use the restroom. Number 6, practice holding a pencil. Number 7, don't cry in front of your kids. And number 8, don't stay too long. And parents, those are my 8 back-to-school tips for kindergarten parents. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and click the notification bell so you don't miss out on any future videos. Also, if you have any questions, comments, or any back-to-school tips of your own, leave them in the comment section below. You can also follow me on Instagram at @aplaceforparents_ and on Facebook at @aplaceforparents. Thanks everyone. I'll see you again soon at A Place for Parents. Bye.